I'm hoping I'm getting this. But this is just a scrap piece of fabric from the dress, the edge we cut off. So, I wrapped this around my neck, and I found that it's literally the perfect size. It's a tad bit big, but that's okay. It gives me room to breathe. So, I'm literally just going to cut it right here. And then, yeah, after I cut it, I'm going to sew this together by hemming it. And, yeah. Continue on after that. Bunch of scraps. Yeah, see, there's a big old rip right there, but whenever I fold it, it ain't gonna matter because it's supposed to be a little crinkled anyway, this fabric is. So, yeah. I rolled hemmed it. Now we're gonna straight stitch it down. That's what it looks like, all done. All nice and flush. I already put it on my neck. And if I move my bun out of the way, it fits. And it crinkles on its own, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, we are going to add Velcro. And I have white Velcro. We're going to add it. Okay. Since I want that to stay on the inside, we need to do it like this. To do that, I'm putting the soft side on the right side of the fabric, and we're getting it as close to the edge as possible. And then I'm using the rough, scratchy side, and I'm putting it on the wrong side of the fabric. That way when I wear it, I can just fold it up. Like such. So now we're going to straight stitch this on here. After you sew the Velcro on it in the back, this is what you should get. And as you can see, it crinkles on its own, so you don't have to actually crinkle it. Now we need to make a little loop or something to put the accessory on, but we're not going to do that yet because now we got to make the action before we do that. So, resin casting is next. Now we're going to make the necklace. I am using a reference picture that I found from somebody that made it on Etsy. So this is the best way that I found. I'll stick it as a template in the description if you want. Now, as far as how big, I'm not real sure because it's not too big on her. It's like very short. It's like that big. It's like a little charm. So, I'll have to keep that in mind when you mess with it. I'm using Model Magic. It's really cheap. You found it at Walmart. I found this big old tub. For like, I don't remember, I bought it like a long time ago, and everything's still squishy. It says it dries to the touch overnight, but it dries completely after 72 hours, depending on the thickness. So, unfortunately, my event is June. So, yeah. We'll just have to deal with it as it goes. Now we're gonna resin cast the necklace piece, the charm. It fell apart in between right here, so I just stuck a tiny dab of hot glue in there to secure it back together. It's not dry on the back, but it's basically fully dry. So I have it on wax paper, and we're gonna use mold builder and use a brush. And you're gonna wanna add this stuff all over. And do about, it's gonna move around everywhere to start with until it tacks down. You wanna be wearing gloves and eyewear, so don't follow my example. And just start adding it and brushing it on. You want to give yourself, just like with sewing, an inch of seam allowance, basically. Except this will be mold allowance all the way around it. And you want to make your first layer a light layer. You don't need it to be that big, because you want it to dry. And as you add layers, it will stay still. Alright, now just wait for it to completely dry, which will take about 10 to 15 minutes. And then add a second layer. And you're going to keep going until you hit 30 layers. Don't know if I recorded this or not, but I mixed the resin. You can see how I did that in the Kyrie tutorial. So, after I pulled the clay out, mixed the resin, and I used Aeon Magic Gold. Just a teaspoon of that or so, and I put it in here. This is what we're going on. We gotta wait the full 24-hour course before we can take them out of the molds. And I did spray each mold with Cast and Craft mold release spray. So there we have it. Okay, I pulled the resin out of the mold, and as you can see, it turned out really good. I kept this mold so you can see what it looks like, but this is what it looked like before. And then I just peeled it away, tried to do it slowly so I could keep the mold. And that worked out successfully for that one. And then it turned into this, but it had like this weird cloud. I went over it with some clear nail polish because I'm out of resin. Traditionally, you would brush some resin on it and it would fix it, but since I'm out of resin, I use clear fingernail polish, and that seemed to do the trick mostly. It's good enough for me, because I don't need it super see-through because it is supposed to be a solid piece, so that's that piece. We're going to attach the necklace, and I'm going to attach the bow. So, well, the skull to the bow. So yeah, that's what we got going on.